Namaste, my name is Suresh. The purpose of this channel is to introduce you to the greatest personalities who made tremendous contribution to make the lives of humans better by expanding their consciousness, making them into spiritually awakened and live their lives to the fullest. Today's video is close to my heart because I have grown up listening to the poems and wisdom of this wonderful enlightened being called Sri Kaiwara Thathayya or Sri Yogi Sadhguru Narayana Yathindra, who had the ability to invoke rain at his will, who could turn objects into animals, who could transform pebbles into candies, who could alleviate the pain and sufferings of many diseases in people. Let me talk to you about his early life. Narayanappa was his name before enlightenment. He was born in 1726 to Kondappa Muddamma couple at Kaiwara, a small place in Chintamani Taluk, Chikkaballapura district, Karnataka. Even when he was a young boy, he was inclined towards asceticism and developed interest in bhajans, kirtans and services of seers and sages. He got married at a young age and started his father's job of selling bangles after the death of his parents. This gave him an opportunity to visit places around him. He would go put bangles to women without even looking at their faces. All he could see was the picture of Devi Mahalakshmi in every woman's face. Some offered him little money and others gave him none. For those who didn't give, he simply said Krishnarpanamastu, which means I offer these items to Lord Krishna. Once he went to nearby Andhra Pradesh on his work. While returning home, he got stuck in merciless storm. Narayanappa tried his best to sail through the storm, but it got more intense. He didn't want to fight further for his life. He just closed his eyes and started praying. The rain stopped within few seconds and it was clear sky. And he spotted a light in front of him which seemed as if it was inviting him towards it. He approached the light and discovered a rishi called Sri Paradesha Swami sitting in lotus pose or Padmasana. The bangle seller prostrated seeking the blessings of the rishi. The rishi was no doubt expecting Narayanappa. He blessed Narayanappa with Ashtakshari Upadesham. Narayanappa was joyful but questioned when the mantra would yield siddhi or become effective. The rishi answered, when a pebble placed in your mouth turns into a sugar candy, that day you will attain enlightenment. After a while, Narayanappa got up and walked a few steps. To his astonishment, he noticed the place where the rishi was sitting and the rishi himself had disappeared. After this incident, Narayanappa spent most of his time in prayers and meditation. He would occasionally go on selling bangles. It was this incident that changed the life towards spirituality completely. Once Narayanappa returned home, his wife noticed the bag of bangles was empty. At the same time, the purse was empty too. She realized Narayanappa had given all the bangles free. The purse had no money at all. That was it. She lost control of her anger and hurled abuses and asked him to leave the house. Narayanappa didn't resist and left the home. He wandered around and was reminded of Ashtakshari Upadesham of Sri Paradesha Swamiji. Once he was sitting near a cave as he was tired. A man appeared and said, "Know yourself. Truly you are God." This man was none other than Amaranarayana Swami or Lord Vishnu. Narayanappa took these words seriously and went into penance in a cave. It was for 3 years from 1776 to 1779 that he was under this grueling process through different weather conditions. It is believed that many wild animals and venomous reptiles were around him. At the end of 3 years, the pebble in his mouth turned into a sugar candy, symbolizing the attainment of enlightenment, like Sri Paradesha Swami said. From this day, he was referred to as Sri Narayana Yathindra. The cave can be visited until today in Kaiwara. After the enlightenment, he distributed pebbles to the boys who came near the cave and asked them to eat. When boys refused, he said they would turn into candies. The boys consumed them in disbelief, but they really turned out to be sugar candies. The news spread across the area. Sri Narayana Yathindra became popular. One day, a few mischievous boys wanted to test Narayana Yathindra's abilities. They placed an eagle made of clay on a tree and asked him to turn it into a real eagle. The mystic closed his eyes and prayed to Garuda. The clay object turned to real eagle and flew eastward. Once the area was hit by the worst drought in many years. People had no food to eat and no water to drink. Looking at the starving condition of the people, Sri Narayana Yathindra invoked the rain god and prayed for rain. Within no time, it started raining heavily. People started believing Sri Narayana Yathindra indeed was a sage with abilities to perform miracles. After hearing many such miracles, the people of Kaiwara invited him to their town to set up a spiritual center. Sri Narayana Yathindra decided to go and spread the words of wisdom from this place, which was famous all through the ages. In Krita Yuga, Devendra himself made the place such a sacred center that it came to be called Kaiwara, a place where Devatas offered prayers. In Treta Yuga, Sri Ramachandra, called Aranya Ramaswamy, with Sita and Lakshmana, rested here on his way to Kishkinda and worshipped Amaranarayana Swami, installed according to Sthala Purana by Devendra. In Dwapara Yuga, the mighty Pandava, Bhima, slew Bakasura here and installed Bhimalinga. Sri Narayana Yathindra etched his name in this holy place in Kali Yuga by making the place a spiritual center. Thousands of tourists visit today. At Kaiwara, he spent most of his time awakening the minds of people towards spirituality, alleviating the pain and sufferings of people. One day, he retrieved the vision of a blind man called Mallaya. Mallaya had hated Yathindra and hurled abuses in the past. Thousands of people came to learn Advaita philosophy from Sri Narayana Yathindra. He spread spiritual wisdom through kirtanas and shatakas in Kannada and Telugu. In his devotional songs, he expresses his respect for Kanakadasa and Purandaradasa. His works Kalagnana and his philosophy are relevant even after centuries. One of his writings is the Brahmananda Puri Shataka. He explains the minute details of yoga in depth. In another one of his poems, half of each line is in Kannada and the other half is in Telugu. To sum it up, Thathayya was a great seer, visionary, mystic and a yogi who took avatar to establish self-awareness among people to lead ideal life. His contribution towards spreading yoga and its benefits are immense. He was fit and fine after crossing the age of 100. Since he was old, people called him, and until now they call him Thathayya, which translates into beloved grandfather. At the age of 110, in 1836, Sri Narayana Yathindra decided to attain Mahasamadhi, death at will. On his last day, he performed his daily duties as if it was any other day. At midnight, he left his body. The Samadhi can be witnessed in Kaiwara until today. Yogis and enlightened beings who visit the Samadhi feel his voice chanting Om until today. Do visit this wonderful place. It's just about 60 kilometers from Bangalore. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. I'll leave you with some of his notable poems. Goodbye.